Audio test. Audio mic check. Audio mic check. Good morning and welcome to our attendees who are joining us here in the board's hearing room, members of the public, your staff and executives. If you are a member of the public and you'd like to offer public comments or commentary on any of our agendized items, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. It's on the table. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our members of the public who are joining us on the virtual platform. If there are any members of the public on the virtual platform who wish to offer public comment or commentary on any of our agendized items, please raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute, identify yourself for the record, which item you'd like to speak on. I'll record your information, and then I'll call upon you when we reach your item. I'll start with Audit LA. Good morning.
Good morning, TJ. I would like general and all items, please.
Very well. I have you down for your public comment and all agenda items.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. The time is 9:48. I'll make another call out in approximately 10 minutes to see if anyone else has joined. And we should get started with the meeting at approximately 10 a.m. Thank you. Good morning once again to members of the public, city staff, city executives who are joining us here in the board hearing room. If there's any members of the public who wish to offer public comment or commentary on any of our items, there are speaker cards located in the back of the room on the table. Please fill one out, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record and call upon you when we reach your item. And good morning to the attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I do see a couple of hands raised. I'm going to go through and ask if you would like to offer public comment or agenda item commentary. And I'll start with Miriam.
Good morning, TJ. I would like to have a public comment, just a general public comment.
Very well, thank you, Miriam. I have you down for public comment.
Thank
Laura FM, good morning.
Good morning, TJ. Public comment and a multiple item.
Thank you. I have you down for public comment and multiple agenda items. And Yvonne, good morning.
Good morning. General public comment, please.
Very well, I have you down for public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand and put you back on mute. It is 9:54. We should get started with the board meeting in approximately 6 minutes. Thank you. We have 4 on. Start. And we are now in record mode and ready to begin, President King.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, November 21, 2025. Mr. Knight, please take roll and establish quorum.
Good morning, President King, Vice President Chavez, Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas are present. We do have a quorum. We're joined by City Attorney Representative Gerald Field. I'm TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works. President King, we have 4 public commenters and 2 multiple agenda item commenters on the virtual platform. We have no one joining us here in the hearing room who wishes to offer commentary, and we've received no neighborhood council commentary this morning.
Thank you very much. A couple quick announcements. The presentations have been continued to Friday, December 5th. These are the retirement presentations. Will be continued to December 5th. And the Office of Community Beautification report will be continued to Friday, December 12th. So those are some of the updates. And with that, we will get started with the general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items, and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public's comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We do not have any in-person speakers, so we will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President King. We'll go ahead and get started with Audit LA, followed by Miriam. Audit LA, please unmute and you have 60 seconds to offer your commentary.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I didn't see the button right. Okay. Good morning. I want to thank, first of all, Commissioner Chavez for when we went to the innovations meeting that you you agreed to let us speak even though we came in late. But I want to ask the board. I have an idea for innovations, and it's to make a one-stop portal for all, because there's so many fragmented ways to get permits and nobody knows what anyone's doing, and anyone can abuse the system. And so a one-stop portal that would be based on the address or the name of the entity, and you would go look at the address, say, every kind of permit would be listed, where they're at in the permit process, whether there's been any violations, any complaints, like everything would be in one space. And it would be probably beneficial to, to prevent cross-pollination, or to know what's going on, because sometimes you'll do a street permit
And that's 60
and grant.
seconds. Thank you, Audit LA. We'll move next to Miriam, followed by Laura FM. Miriam, go ahead.
Good morning. For over a year, we have reported clear, well-documented permit violations by the Cult of Scientology on LRH Way near the Blow Building. We have sent photos, videos, timestamps, and written reports over and over again, and yet nothing happens. What does it take for Public Works to enforce its own rules? Do the rules even matter? Are permit rules optional for a criminal organization called Scientology? Right now, the message this department is sending is that they can block public streets, set high structures without approval, and ignore every regulation with zero consequence. This is unacceptable. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for basic enforcement of the law and rules. The same enforcement any small business or resident
you.
would.
Miriam, that's 60 seconds. And we'll move next to Laura FM, followed by Yvonne.
Hi. So yeah, I'm going to second both what Audit LA and Miriam said. If we are allowing the city to allow an organization or a business to continue their scheme and scam of permits wherever that may be, whether it's L. Ron Hubbard Way, whether it's downtown, whether it's the Winter Wonderland. You guys are literally allowing slave labor. You're allowing child abuse, elderly neglect, medical care. Every single one of those members in there, I know. Two of them are my mom and dad and my sister. So I'm telling you this. I was born and raised in this. You guys are allowing these permits, and no matter what they're saying they're for, it's a scam. Somebody needs to investigate this. This is insane that after years and years, you've had members of this cult letting you know what is going on, and the permits are still being allowed to be given to Scientology. This is a fucking scam. It needs to stop. Who's going to stop it?
Thank you. That's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Yvonne.
Thank you. I would like to get back to the government efficiency and innovations as a concept of there are funds available, and I would recommend that somebody from BSS or the building and safety or the film permits people lead the coordinated effort of assimilating all of those types of permits and the policies and the steps involved in obtaining them, so that the communication and cross-checking of the validity of checks through the initial application phase to the actual issuing date and the compliance thereafter is done in an orderly manner in accordance to the policy, procedures, codes, and mandates of the city.
Thank you, Yvonne. That's
Otherwise,
60 seconds. And President King, I do see a couple of additional hands raised on the virtual platform. If you like, I can ask if they would like
Yes, please.
public comment. Thank you. Gigi, I see your hand is raised. Would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. To this day, I have not seen any proof at all that there is legitimately no parking on L. Ron Hubbard Way. I want you guys to do something, or if it's another department, I want someone to do something about this, because we've been talking about this for a long time, and there legitimately is no proof that anyone in the city can show any of us there's no parking. Please rip up those bricks, reclaim that road, change the name back to North Berendo. It belongs to the people, not to Scientology. They think that they own it. You know, take it back. Thank you. I yield my time.
And I see Georgina, you have your hand up. Would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. Yeah, the street being stolen from the city is a big issue. You need to open that street up for parking. You need to stop giving them permits. They're continuously violating. I defy you to find a single permit they haven't violated. Every time they use their slave labor forces on these projects, they don't show the permit. They misuse the permit by operating outside of the term limit or the confines of the permits. I know Scientology seems like this huge endeavor and that there's very little you can do, but these are the little things you can do. You can participate in helping to keep them in check. They need to be called out and they need to be kept in check. When we talk about slave labor, these are people that make as little as $11 a week. Between $11 and $47 a week is all they make. They work 16-hour days. They live 12 to a room.
Georgina, that's 60 seconds. I do see calling user 1. Would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. Please speak clearly into your device. You have 60 seconds.
As a Los Angeles resident, California governor announced California tax credits will be rebooting a once popular program that highlighted beaches in Los Angeles. I hope that Film LA will encourage the use of all members of Los Angeles, highlighting the use of beach wheelchairs and the use of access mats, and considering highlighting Paralympic and Olympic swimming athletes. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. And President King, that concludes public comment this morning.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We do not have any in-person speakers, so we will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President King. And we'll start with Audit LA, followed by Laura. Go ahead.
Good morning again. Yes, I'd like to start with minutes. I really, sorry, just to let you know, Nora Ames had her hand raised. But with the minutes, okay, I really wish that it was going to be recorded, especially that last caller that's talking about the Paralympics coming and wheelchair access on beaches. Although she invited all Los Angelinos to participate in filming it, we know that Scientology won't because they consider people in wheelchairs degraded beings and would not participate in that. But I would love to have that in the minutes because that is a very important issue, as is everything that we're bringing to you. And then I want to go to the street improvement. I hope you let Nora speak. She has her hand up because I'll let her introduce what's very important about what's going on with the street, which would be a street update. But I'll keep it generic. We need a street update because yes, there is no proof whatsoever about it being no parking since 2009. Okay, there was no parking from 2008 to 2009, but since there's nothing, but yet they are enforcing it. And it kind of that's what I mean by one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. You are giving them permits to shut down a street. And during those permits, people, or even beyond the permits, like there's no parking, but there is parking. So nobody knows what the other one is doing. So I'm asking that you not only, that's the main one that we really need to have an update on is what is with the parking. And what is going on with, and why are these, and with the building of all these towers, they have not had an inspection on any of their towers or the LADBS permits since 2022. So that's what I mean. You guys are giving them a permit, but they're not getting the inspections needed for the equipment in these permits. It's so convoluted. That is why I was advocating as well with the streets upgrade. I mean, the report that you really do an innovations project to coordinate this because they are absolutely abusing this system and this street is being held hostage in a sense because I get why they want it. Of course they do, but it belongs to the public. It just does. That's the facts. They can, if they want to change that and get a vacation, there is a process for that. Number one, where the street is going to close that's a 3-year closure. That is going to be really hard. The CAO said we cannot afford the convention center. So, but I guess the reality, it's, we're going ahead with it, but that money and all
Thank
that time,
you.
I'd rather
That's 3
see.
minutes. Audit LA. We'll move next to Laura FM.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, again, I'm going to second exactly what Audit was talking about, both on Pico being closed off for 3 years. That's just crazy. And also, you don't know literally what's going to happen in 3 years in LA. So the fact that a street would be closed for that long is just insane. That's a really busy street. My friends live all around there, so I know the trouble of that. The other thing is seconding what she's talking about, investigating, guys. This is such a simple thing. If you guys sent out an investigator to specifically talk and bring up the subjects that we've been talking about, calling in, then you would be doing your job. I don't see that anything is being done about anything on the permits, the things happening on L. Ron Hubbard Way with their parking meter. Like, why is nobody allowed to park there? I live 3 blocks away. I want to park there. I have a big van. I pay for parking in my own neighborhood because of the little parking here. Why am I not allowed to park my vehicle on L. Ron Hubbard Way, which should be revoked? That permit should be revoked back to North Berendo, not L. Ron Hubbard Way. A literal cult leader who has destroyed my family's lives and multiple of my friends' lives. So you didn't let Nora Ames talk. She needed to talk. She wants to talk about how that street even got named L. Ron Hubbard Way and how her own family members had something to do with
Which
putting
item
that
are you
sign
speaking on?
up.
Which
To
item are you
putting the
speaking on?
sign up. This is about all items on this topic. I was talking about Pico at the beginning, and now I'm talking about everything in general. The investigations of permits needs to be done. It needs to be done. Why is nobody bringing this up? When Scientology is getting away with these permits, that means anybody can get away with fake permits at this point. Is Public Works going to be okay with this in a year when just random fake permits and things are being used to shut people's First Amendment rights up and to cover up crime? It's not going to be okay. So that's my I will yield my time, but that's what needs to happen is the investigator needs to go in and do actual investigative work. Thank you.
That concludes the multiple agenda item commenters who previously indicated that they wish to offer multiple agenda item comment. President King, however, I do see 2 additional hands raised on the.
Yes, please.
Georgina, would you like to offer multiple agenda item commentary this morning?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the minutes, please.
Okay, you'll have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
When you don't include in the minutes these things that Laura and Audit and everyone else is calling and talking about, it's like you're denying them their voice. There's no record kept of it. It's not carried over to the next meeting. People that get the minutes don't get to hear what was discussed, and we have to start fresh every week. If they were at least included in the minutes, we could carry over from week to week. The person reading about last week's would know what was discussed. There would be a lot less repeating of everything. We repeat and we repeat and we repeat, and nothing is getting heard, nothing is getting seen. And part of it is because we are being silenced by not being included in the minutes. And that needs to get changed. You have Granicus at your disposal where you could at least put a link in, but really there should be a summation of
Thank
what
you.
was said. Thank you.
And that's 60 seconds on minutes. And I do see another hand raised. Nora, would you like to offer multiple agenda item commentary this morning?
Yes.
Go ahead. Please indicate which item you're speaking on. And you have
On the minutes themselves.
Okay, you have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I want to just reiterate what was just said by the last commenter and Audit and Laura, but also I just want to offer this information very quickly that specifically in regards to L. Ron Hubbard Way, formerly known as North Berendo, massively the signage on that street, there's evidence that I have that it was not produced by the city of
Commenter, can you please
specifically-
restrict your comments to the item which you indicated, which are the minutes?
Okay, well, if we were, we're talking about that last week and the week before and the week before that and the week before that, if these were noted, then I wouldn't have to come on again to talk about the illegal signage that's posted, and we need an investigation into that. And if that could be noted for the record that we've requested an investigation into the legality of the no parking and the L. Ron Hubbard
Thank you.
Way
That's
sign
60
itself.
seconds. And that concludes single item and multiple item commentary this morning, President.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Commissioners, any questions or concerns? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
I'll move.
Second.
Vice President Chavez moves, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President King. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of minutes, starting with you, President King.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and minutes are approved unanimous.
Thank you very much. As I stated earlier, the retirement recognition has been continued to Friday, December 5th. So heading into our first agenda item, Number one, from the Bureau of Engineering, we have the temporary full closure of Pico Boulevard from Figueroa Street to LA Live Way.
Good morning, President and Commissioners. My name is Dale Williams. I'm a senior civil engineer with the Bureau of Engineering Central District. The item before you today is a recommendation to authorize temporary full closure of Pico Boulevard from Figueroa Street to LA Live Way for the LA Convention Center Expansion and Modernization Project from December 4th, 2025 through April 1st, 2028 to allow various phases of construction of the project within Pico Boulevard. The project includes an expansion of the convention center connecting the existing South Hall and West Hall above Pico Boulevard, including the construction of the foundations and columns within Pico Boulevard, as well as the construction of new street improvements within Pico Boulevard. Just to go over some of the phases that are mentioned in the report briefly, from December 2025 through June 2026, there will be significant utility installation and relocation under U permits and B permits, including LADWP duct banks and vaults, sanitary sewer, partial realignment of a 57-inch storm drain, and demolition of street improvements will be included in this phase. From February 2026 through July of 2026, installation of shoring along Pico Boulevard and installation of piles and foundations within Pico Boulevard will be taking place. Between July 2026 and August 2027 will be the construction of the structural steel building members over Pico Boulevard. This will include crane laydown and truss construction area that requires significant area within Pico Boulevard as well. And then following that, from August 2027 through March 2028, the building exterior finishes above Pico Boulevard and the construction of the final street improvements, including street lighting, traffic signals, striping, and landscaping along Pico Boulevard. I wanted to make one update to the report. As of the report writing date, the LADOT approval of the traffic control plan and detour plan in progress had not been finalized. No approved plan has been transmitted with the report, and BOE has recommended the condition that the permittee obtain the traffic control and detour plan approval prior to implementation of any and all street closure related activities. My understanding is that the plan has now been approved by LADOT as of this week, and the approved plan will be required by the Bureau of Contract Administration inspector on site prior to implementing any closure activities. I am happy to answer any questions. Also, I do have our Convention Center Division staff here from BOE, as well as the project team from PCL WebCorp. Any questions are needed.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? Vice President Chavez.
Yeah, so just to clarify, so Department of Transportation has to sign off before any closure can begin. Is that correct?
The Department of Transportation would have to approve the traffic detour plan and traffic control plan.
Okay, and when's the closure expected to begin?
The start date for the closure is expected to be on December 4th.
December 4th, okay. So time is of the essence, so if there's anything we need to do to communicate that over to our colleagues over at DOT that this is urgent, we should do that. I just had a couple questions regarding metrics. So during the closure, who's responsible for tracking the metrics, like the impact on the travel times, complaints, anything like that? Is that who's responsible for that?
I believe the contractor will have staff available to respond to any comments, and I would probably defer to our project team for any specifics on that. If you'd like, I can bring someone up for the project team.
Bring them up.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you guys hear me? Move it up a little bit.
Straight into the microphone.
Yeah, perfect. I'll use my outdoor voice. To answer your first question that Dill wasn't quite sure on, LADOT has actually approved our plan. We're actually walking with LADOT at this present moment for all of the layout that's going to be happening next week for the traffic signals that are going in. As far as the complaints from the local residents in the area, we have set up a hotline to allow the local residents to actually call in and make any complaints, and that hotline is monitored 24 hours a day by our team. So in the event that there is anything that is put forward, our team can actually address and make any type of adjustments necessary.
Excellent. And I know this is a unique closure because essentially so much of the construction is happening over Pico Boulevard. I know it's a unique thing, and that I'm just curious what the plan is for all the special events happening during this time, not just at the convention center, but at LA Live, at Crypto, et cetera. What's the plan for handling traffic during those special events?
Yeah, so we do have routine discussions that we have with both Crypto Arena and the Convention Center. So we maintain access to all events that are either at Gilbert Lindsay Plaza, even if it's entering through our access off of LA Live and Figueroa, so that they can still maintain access to the bus loop that goes around Gilbert Lindsay Plaza. And then we maintain access to all of the front of hall operations from the West Hall and the South Hall.
Okay, and lastly, what tools are you using to communicate just the updates? Or is there real-time updates that are provided to the public, whether they're getting pushed out to the mobile apps or website, or is there any way that people can receive information electronically?
There is a website that is in the makings that the communications will be going out to the public, so that the public is aware of all the impacts that are going on in the surrounding area, as well as any of the large activities or events that are happening on the convention center. Honestly, we want to showcase the great thing that we're doing for both the city and for the Olympics that are coming in 2028.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
And also for the record, can you just identify yourself and your affiliation?
I got so excited when I came up here. My name's Alan Hill. I'm the field operations manager with the PWJV construction team.
Thank you very much. And then kind of going off of Vice President Chavez's question, so there has been communication to the immediate area, and whether it's residents or businesses related to the potential closure?
So following this meeting and the approval, that's when the flyers actually go out to the nearby residents of the closure that is upcoming.
Perfect. And then I'm assuming with large events that are scheduled before the Olympics during the closure, whether it's at Crypto or at convention, those organizers will also be notified of the closure as well, I'm assuming?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, or Commissioner Cardenas?
Don't know if this is a question for BOE or the construction crew. What's the plan for providing project status when hitting our milestones as we go along? I know this is a very tight schedule to get done before we have to shut it down for the Olympics and then reopen it again post-Olympics. So just wonder if anybody had what's the plan for providing those milestones and making sure we hit those?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Richard Louie. I am a Principal Civil Engineer with the Bureau of Engineering. So we have been working to put together a draft report that would give status updates on the project. We have also been working to bring on a project executive that has recently occurred. So now working with the project executive, we're going to be finalizing that reporting document so that we can be able to inform people on the status of the project.
So are those reports going to be on a quarterly basis? What's the scheduled release on those reports?
I think that's part of what we're trying to establish is the cadence of how those reports will be updated and then how they will be distributed as well.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Vice President Chavez.
For Richard, so I know the report mentions potential, there's a 4-week extension authority within the report. Is there any existing oversight for extensions beyond that? Or would you need to come back?
No, I believe that based on the way that the board report in front of you is asking for authorization, we would have that flexibility if needed to be able to extend it. And it's just because construction is construction. Sometimes things happen and we may need that little flexibility.
Okay, thank you.
Last question. When would be your deadline to ensure that we can close PICO by December 4th for DOT approval? When would you need their approval by?
I believe Alan has mentioned we actually have gotten their approval already.
Okay.
So we are good from that end. Now it's just implementing the physical work on site.
Got it. Understood. All right, Commissioners, seeing no other discussions on this item, is there a first and a second?
I'll move. Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 1, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes. And item 1 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Unanimous.
Moving on to item number 2, request for authority, Donald Tillman Water Reclamation Plan.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Thea. I'm the Assistant Division Manager at LA Sanitation and Environment. I'm here for the Advanced Water Equalization Basin Project, also known as CIP 6888, Work Order SCD 11344. This is a joint report prepared by BCA, Bureau of Contract Administration, and LA San. The project is fully funded by Department of Water and Power. So LA Sanitation is requesting the approval and authorization to execute the amendment number 1 to Progressive Design Build contract number C146599 with Jacobs Project Management Company, or Jacobs, to increase the contract ceiling from $8,800,325 to $167,652,977, and also to add additional scope for the construction and performance validation phase, also known as phase 2, for the equalization basin project at Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant, once approval for S2 form has been obtained from the City Attorney's Office. So I'd like to go over some of the scope of work for that. So we came to the Board of Public Works a few weeks ago to ask for the authorization to expand the capacity of the Advanced Water Purification Facility from 30 to 45 MGD. In order for us to proceed with that, we need to bring in stable flow into the system. We talked about how the flow variations between daytime and nighttime could be pretty drastic. So right now, when everyone is up and running, we have a lot of flow. But when we go to bed, there's not a lot of flow in the sewer system. So in order for us to be able to run the water purification facility, we need a stable flow getting fed into the entire system. And these equalization basins provide just that. So right now, with the rain or without the rain, we'll be filling up the tanks so that we can release the flow slowly at nighttime, probably at the stable flow of 55 million gallons per day into the entire system. So these tanks are pretty critical to the operation of the entire system. So the scope of work includes construction of 230 feet diameter circular tanks. So those are pretty large and huge tanks, 30 feet high, taking a primary effluent after the wastewater has gone through grid removal and solids removal. So the water there is still pretty at the raw stage. So we'll release the flow gradually during nighttime, as we discussed. And the scope also includes not just the tank itself, but the pumps, piping, odor control system, upgrade to the existing pump stations, additional site improvements for the overall groundwater replenishment program. So if we break it down into different components of the project, it includes construction. Also the construction part of it includes general conditions, engineering services during the construction, procurement of the materials and pumps and other things, subcontractor works, which is a larger part of the contract amount, instrumentation and control systems, commissioning and startup, as well as taxes, bonds, and insurance as described in Table 1 of the report. It also includes allowances and contingencies for us to be able to mitigate some of the unforeseeable conditions. All these items come up to $158.8 million in value just for the construction and performance validation phase. And with the design phase being already expanded $8.8 million, the grand total for the contract amount comes up to $167.65 million. A little bit of background, the Board of Public Works awarded the design portion of this contract to Jacobs about a year ago. And we started with the design and we reached 70% design in June of this year. At the same time, when we get to the 70% design, we received the proposal for a guaranteed maximum price for the construction and performance validation phase. So since June, we negotiated the pricing in good faith, and we have reached the final agreement for the pricing, which is the reason why we're here today. So we reached the final agreement in September. We proceeded to ask for the approval. And right now we're at the position where we finished the final design and we are ready to get into the construction phase as soon as the rain stops. So as of July 2025, the prime Jacobs, they have achieved 14% Minority business enterprise goal, 5.4% small business, 12.5 other businesses, business enterprises, and 0.78% emerging business enterprises goal during the design phase. And those participation will increase or change as we go through the construction phase. As for the community level contracting, LA San evaluated that the work performed for this project will be the most feasible and efficient and cost effective if we were to give it to a single prime contractor. So we made the determination during the design phase as well. The financial part of it, this project is under the umbrella of the larger LA groundwater replenishment program, reimbursed to the LA San by the Department of Water and Power. It is also the recipient of federal loans, state and local grants in the amount of $400 million. And all these funding have been fully secure. We're really proud that we're able to bring in additional funds into the community. So with that, the expected construction completion date is July 2027, timed with when we want to start the operation of the advanced water purification facility. Once we fill up the tanks, start running it, we'll get into the performance validation phase, which is expected to be no more than 6 months. So bringing the contract closure date to about the end of 2027. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? All right. Vice President Chavez.
Ryan, can you just step back a little bit and walk me through, just talk a little bit about the overall design build contract and why it was phased this way with the design and the original contract, and then now with the amendment, we're adding on the construction and validation phases. Can you talk about why it was phrased this way or framed this way and why we didn't do it all at once?
Absolutely. So the basis for going with a progressive design build contract is that the owner and operator, in our case, LA San and LADWP, wants to have a lot of input during the design process. So progressive design build allows us to have that flexibility, and we are more nimble in terms of scope changes, and we're not fixed to the hard bits. So that's one reason. The other reason is that with the progressive design build, we're able to include the performance validation phase components, which is really critical for the operators. So we're not going to sign off on the contract until we're fully satisfied that the project works the way we want it to work. So we've learned a lot of lessons from other projects that are really operator intensive. So advanced water purification facility and equalization basin. We're there every day, a little bit different from the streets or road projects where, you know, the O&M is pretty passive. So that was the basis of going with a progressive design build. It is unconventional in the contracting world, so we have to seek authorization from the city council to issue the special ordinance for us to be able to advertise using the RFQ and RFP process. Because of the scope, the value of the project, we went through really rigorous evaluation to make sure that we can only accept the team that are able to perform with the strict liability and what we call it liquidated damages, because the deadline is also strict. We have a lot of fundings and commitment tied to it. So we went through the RFQ, RFE phase. We received I believe 3 proposals. Out of the 3 proposals, we go through the standardized evaluation process, depending on the experience of the team, the value that they bring in terms of the construction, and also the costs, which is also a component of it. Because we don't know how much the construction cost is going to be during the design phase, we put it on the general condition percentage. Like how much are they going to charge for a project of this scale? So all those combined kind of gives you the output of the scores, so that the team with the highest score gets awarded, and these are all documented and defensible. The reason we phase out into design and construction performance validation phase, or 2 phases, we don't know if we're going to reach the guaranteed maximum price agreement at the end of the design phase. And city wants to have a flexibility to go off-ramp. So if the price is not right, if we don't have the commitment from funding agencies at the end of the design, we'll call it quit and we finish the design and we don't have the obligation to go into the construction phase. On the other hand, if we agree with the pricing, everything is in place, we have 6 months to negotiate for the construction phase pricing and proceed with the construction, which we're exercising today. So it gives the city a lot of flexibility because these projects with a lot of ties to external funding, anything can happen and we might not be able to proceed. So at the end of the day, at the end of the design commitment, we will have completed the design phase and we'll have a design package and we'll keep it and award it to someone else at a later time if we don't agree with the GMP. So that was the biggest pro for this kind of project delivery. It is based on the best value brought to the city. So not just the cost, but the qualification of the team, ability to meet the strict requirements for operating criteria, and a few other things that are kind of hard to put in the lowest, most responsive bid. So that's, I guess, the summary of the progressive design build delivery process. Took a while to get to all the explanation. Yes.
No, thank you, Ryan. No, I think that's really helpful. So progressive design build as opposed to a design build gives the city more flexibility, more options, and still allows for competitive building for the next phase.
That is correct. Maybe, if I may add one more thing is that we are able to identify all the risk that we're going to probably foresee during the construction phase and project how much it's going to cost and what the construction impact is going to be, who is responsible for such risk. And we allocate some contingencies for that. At the end of the day, if we don't spend it for this contract, city keeps all the savings in this. So just because we're authorizing this amount doesn't mean we'll end up spending more than this. It will have a lot of our savings at the end of the day, and we have the control of those prices.
Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. Could you go over how it was, and I know we talked about it when we had our briefing, but can you go over how, at what point in the process did we change the design and we increased it by 50%? We went from 30 million gallons to 45 million gallons, is correct? At what point in the process did that light bulb go off and say, okay, you know what, we can save money by increasing it? And can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. So we're going to touch into CMP 6202, which is the Advanced Water Purification Facility, which is the item that the board has approved a few weeks ago. So this project, 6888, is tied to that project because this is a supporting project. But how and when we decided to switch to increase the flow capacity is probably around April or May of this year when we had joint commissioners meeting between Department of Water and Power and Board of Public Works. I think the first time that we had in 14 years. There were some discussions related to the Pure Water LA, and some of the comments that we saw was, why don't we increase what we can in the valley where you're closer to the spreading grounds? So Tillman being located 9 miles away from Hanson Spreading Grounds, there's already purple pipe already installed back in the 1990s. So if we think we're going to get more flow, increasing the capacity now is a wise decision as opposed to having another plant being built. 20 years from now, that will cost double the price, and we've seen the construction prices always go up. So with that, we looked into different alternatives and decided that it's wise to increase the current capacity. We were, in terms of construction for AWPF, we were about 20% construction at this time. So we're about 15% in May or June when we make the decision. We authorized the use of $8 million contingency that we have in the project amount, and spend that money for 2-3 months until we got the final change order approved a few weeks ago. So that's kind of like a long and short history of how we got to where we are today.
All right. I do have a quick question. For the engineering services during construction, approximately how many of Jacobs' personnel are expected to be working on site?
Right now, if I remember, probably 35 to 40 engineers. That's just the engineers. But they also have a whole team throughout the world pretty much supporting for different disciplines. So I think right now on site, we have 4 trailers worth of engineers on site as of today.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioners, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none. For item number 2, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President King. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 2, starting with you, President King,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 2 is adopted forthwith.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Moving on, I'll take items a little bit out of order. As I mentioned, Office of Community Beautification has been continued to December 12th. And we'll head to number 4 and then number 3. So number 4, status update on major upcoming street improvement projects from the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, everybody. President King, Commissioner Cardenas, Commissioner Mitchell, Vice President. My name is Mr. Phillips with the Street Renewal Division, so I'm here to update you guys and the public for our upcoming projects that we have and to delay any impact or any delays for our community. So any issues or problems, they can reach our coordinating section at 213-847-3200. And currently, we have no major projects coming up in our metro or valley region for the week of the 23rd through the 29th. But for an update to the preservation program, we do have completed 10 large asphalt repairs totaling 0.90 lane miles for Thanksgiving week next week. We will not be working for the holiday. We will be shut down. And we did release all press releases were been issued, and we did work with the council office and Department of Transportation. This concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? You mentioned, what are your Thanksgiving hours? So you said you were shut down just Thursday or both Friday as well?
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday
Yes,
and Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. Similar, what about for Christmas and New Year's?
For Christmas and New Year's, we'll be shut down the day after Christmas and the day after New Year's.
So
We'll work
both
to the-
Thursday and Fridays for
Yes,
each
sir.
week? Okay,
Yes, sir.
perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Guys, have a great holiday.
Moving on to item number 3, community level contracting update from all of our bureaus. Why don't we have our Bureau of Sanitation come up first?
Thank you, President Kang. Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Knight, City Attorney. I'm John Patterson with LA Sanitation Environment. We currently have 2 community-level contracting opportunities pending. The RFQ for landscaping and site services. 4 of those contracts for that RFQ were awarded or approved for award at board on Monday. We also have our RFP for organic waste and urban gardening public education program. We received 4 proposals to that on July 16th, and they are currently being evaluated and in the process. LA Sanitation meets with each of our divisions on a monthly basis. My particular division, Centralized Contracting Unit, we meet with each of our divisions on a monthly basis to evaluate current and pending RFQs, RFPs, to determine whether or not they're feasible to apply the community level contracting program. Thank you to Ryan. As you heard in his presentation, it's incorporated into the board report and included as part of their presentation is whether or not it is feasible to break down an opportunity into, to make it eligible for community level contracting. Can it be broken up based on geographic region or value? We did that with the landscaping. It was broken up into different TOS values. So we had proposers bidding on to be on a small list or a large list. For the organic waste urban gardening, it was broken up into geographic regions, into multiple geographic regions to allow for hopefully for better bidding among the proposers. So that's essentially what we do to facilitate the CLC. We also meet with Bureau of Contract Administration. They provided us the checklist and they review our board reports and our opportunities and provide feedback. Hey, yes, we think this could be a CLC and this is why. So they're also very helpful with that. That concludes LA Sanitation's report. Happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? I have one related to the organic waste and gardening program. Do you know
Yes, sir.
when, approximately, when do you anticipate the review process to conclude?
I would anticipate early next year, but as you may recall with the landscaping, it took us quite some time to get here to board. Optimistically, early next year, we should be able to get that to you for a review and award.
Okay. And is that a typical timeframe? So you, 4 proposals on July 16th, and then it takes about 6 months?
That's fairly typical if everything goes smoothly. If there's hiccups along the line, and unfortunately there sometimes can be, it can take a little while longer. There's multiple units review the proposals, review the board report before it actually gets signed off and gets scheduled for board hearing.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it can be a lengthy process sometimes, yes.
And then I know for the other one, landscaping site services, you're waiting ED3 review, and I know we just passed it not too long ago, but please keep us posted if that gets delayed any further.
Sorry, sir.
If it gets delayed, please let us know, because I know once the budget season hits,
Yes,
ED3 review does slow down.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that projects are not impacted.
Absolutely. My supervisor, Nancy Lanton, and I meet with the CAO's office every other week. We get updates on that, on how that process is going on as they go through on all the projects. So yes, if it looks like it's going to get caught up, we will absolutely reach out to you and let you know.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Next, we have Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mr. Knight, District City Attorney. My name is Danny Chan from the Bureau of Street Services, and I'm here to present the community level contracting report. Before you, you should have a list with the first 4 contracts are for the maintenance of landscape median islands. These services were originally split from 4 package of 2 to 4 work packages. The current latest update is we are drafting a report to renew the contract for the 3rd year. The next items, the last items, are for the pre-qualified on-call consultants for sidewalk, park vending, outreach, and education. The update on this is that the work has been completed. We will continue to seek potential CLC opportunities as we look to procure future contracts, and that concludes my report. And I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to BS Street Services? Give us a minute. And then I do see on the progress update for some of the contracts that are expiring in the next several months, some are moving to get them renewed.
Correct.
How much of a lead time do you need typically for the renewal process?
On these, because they are renewals, there won't be much of a renewal option. It's just be a review, internal review, and we would issue an NTP to proceed to for a 3rd year.
Understood. Thank you. Commissioners, any other comments, questions, concerns? All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Finally, we have our Bureau of Contract Administration.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. Irene Gonzalez with the Bureau of Contract Administration. Since last quarter, the Bureau of Engineering has awarded 15 total work packages under the Small Sidewalk Repair Services Project's 2nd pre-qualified on-call list. Additional awards are anticipated once more sites are assembled and finalized. Also under BOE, the architectural and related professional services. The list was established while no opportunities have been advertised. The Bureau anticipates that several solicitations will be released via RAMP within the next few months. Our Bureau will continue to assist our colleagues in identifying CLC opportunities and will work collaboratively with the Office of Procurement to support upcoming contracting and solicitation activities. In addition to tracking participation, subsequently when contracts are awarded, our Bureau will provide assistance in training since many are usually first-time bidders. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Cardenas.
Yeah, thank you. On the small sidewalk repair services, how many new vendors, or what's the outreach to get new vendors to get into this program, to kind of, give them a first shot at working with the city, and what's the process for doing that?
I would have to go back and discuss that with BOE. For now, we're just tracking from their list how many work packages from that particular list are being awarded. But we can get that information to you.
Yeah, please do.
And as a reminder to the general public, can you remind the folks online where people can see that list of the 15 total work packages for small sidewalk repair?
It would be on their website, but I can double check on that too. I have a list that I share with my colleague over at the Bureau to track that and in what order, but it should also be on RAMP. I know those those who have been awarded are listed on RAMP.
Okay. So when you're following up with Commissioner Cardenas, if you could send that over to us as well, and then you can send it to Mr. Knight here, and he will share with the rest of the board.
Okay, will do.
Any other questions or comments, commissioners? All right, seeing none, happy Thanksgiving.
See you too.
Mr. Knight, I believe that concludes our items for today.
Yes, it does, President Kang.
Our next meeting will be on Monday, November 24, 2025. The meeting is now adjourned at 10:57 a.m.